Hello and welcome back to the NastyMetalProductions channel here at YouTube, and welcome to another Album of the Week video. This is episode number 227. Today I am here to spotlight Aftershock, the 21st and second to last album from the legendary late Motörhead, originally released on October 18th via the UDR label, which eventually would change its name to Silver Lining Music. So with all that said, let's begin. After the release of their 20th studio album, The World Is Yours, they weren't as quick to head back into the studio like they were before. Unfortunate foreshadowing here. But in August of 2012, in an interview with Artisan News Service, which had took place during the Rockstar Mayhem Festival tour, Mickey D revealed that the band had written a number of songs already for a follow-up to The World Is Yours, but also stated that the band were continuing to write. He then went on to say that the new album would be recorded and released in 2013. In an interview with Classic Rock Revisited, Lemmy was asked about the possibility of the album consisting of all covers. Lemmy said that it had been discussed and that it would be fun to do. He further noted that if a covers album would be made, the band's varying musical tastes would ensure a diverse track listing. It was in October 2012 where it was announced that the band had made plans to enter the studio in January of 2013. In addition, Cameron Webb, who had produced the previous 4 albums, would again return to produce the new album. The title for what would be their 21st studio album was revealed on June 18th of 2013. I do have to take time to bring up the serious stuff that did take place during the wake of this time. I do remember the reports of Lemmy's health issues taking place in the year 2013. I mean, it has been documented well before the recording of Aftershock that Lemmy was having some health issues, but it was very evident that the health issues were beginning to become serious. So serious that the day after the title of the 21st studio album was revealed, it was too revealed that a defibrillator was installed into Lemmy. Basically a pacemaker, which is to be where it's connected at least the heart, though not really on the heart, but it's at least to where it can react to the heart, you know, something like that. Now, prior to these, Lemmy was diagnosed with diabetes, but by June of 2013, Lemmy's heart issues became pretty serious, causing the band to postpone 4 of their tour dates. It was beginning to become a concern to me and others, but Lemmy being Lemmy, he wasn't going to let these things rule his life. Finally, by October 18th, since I was down in Fresno visiting because I was still currently living in Susanville with my parents, I was driven to the nearest Best Buy to pick up the Best Buy exclusive deluxe copy of the then new album, which included a DVD of their performance at the Download Festival located at Donington Park, the original home of the classic Monsters of Rock Festival in 2013. Of course, once I got home, I put that sumbitch inside my C player and here I am to celebrate its 10th anniversary. So, featuring 14 tracks, clocking in at the length of 46 minutes and 54 seconds. So, these 14 tracks are, of course, starting with Heartbreaker, which is not a Pat Benatar cover, Coup de Grace, or is it Coup de Gras? You never know. Lost Wind Blues, End of Time, Do You Believe, Death Machine, Dust and Glass, Going to Mexico, Silence When You Speak to Me, Crying Shame, Queen of the Damned, Knife, Keep Your Powder Dry, and then finally ending with Paralyzed, which is also not a Ted Nugent cover. So there you go. There's your 14 tracks. Again, I am here to celebrate this album's 10th anniversary. You know, as I've documented here before on this channel, I began getting heavily into Motörhead back in 2008. It was by February of 2011 of when I had got The World Is Yours, and since it was still a new release from Motörhead, I played the shit out of that album. But that began my ritual to get any new Motörhead album on its release date, which sadly felt short-lived. Technically though, Aftershock is the only Motörhead album that I got on its release date, which added to another reason why this album remains special to me. You know, I liked The World Is Yours, but I felt, and still feel, that Aftershock had more gusto to it. It's not that the songs feel more original, but as that I think the energy and attitude was dialed up to 11 here. Within these 14 songs encapsulates the primal nature of what made Motörhead Motörhead in the first place. As you can see, probably with all other Motörhead albums, but to me, as I get more into it with Aftershock, something just felt more lively. And if that ain't enough of a good description, then the description that was written on the hype sticker is what said it best. 14 new tracks of crunchy, greasy, bluesy, gutsy rock and roll, which perfectly describes the barn burners like the opening track Heartbreaker, Coup de Grace, End of Time, Going to Mexico, Queen of the Damned, Knife, and the fiery closer Paralyzed. But that ain't it all. This album does have its set of varying songs to keep the listener's ears glued to either their speakers or headphones, depending on what is your choice of choosing. There are some good time, fun rock and roll songs to be found on this album, like Do You Believe, which sounds like an unreleased track from the Bomber Sessions, sharing a familiar guitar riff with Over the Top. Death Machine is a slightly more bluesy rocker, though not a straight blues, like with Lost Woman Blues and Dust and Glass, that is built with the groove. This kinda has a classic ZZ Top feel, who Lemmy was a fan of. I mean, of course, covering Beer Drinkers and Hellraisers earlier in their career. Crying Shame and Keep Your Powder Dry are straight up boogie romps, with Keep Your Powder Dry having more of an AC/DC-like swing to it. Then we have Lost Woman Blues and Dust and Glass, which are this album's more unique songs. These right here showcased Lemmy's love for the blues. Lost Woman Blues is a emotional blues song with Lemmy's trademark whiskey-soaked snarl and featuring some great blues playing from Phil Campbell. This song does groove along smoothly before kicking into gear to bring the song home. Then with Dust and Glass, which is a much more slower blues song, leaning more towards a 70s vibe, kinda reminiscent of Lemmy's time with Hawkwind, with Lemmy channeling his voice tone during that period. These two songs I feel gives this album an extra boost of personality, very much separating itself from the previous releases. To me, I tend to prefer this one to albums like Motorizer, The World Is Yours, and of course, Bad Magic. It's also pretty evident that this was the last album where Lemmy was in good shape, despite all the further growing health issues that would then overtake him in his last years. That's why I can't bring myself to listen to Bad Magic. Yes, at the time when I got it, I did like it, but with the photos at the time and the way with how he was sounding on it, which was much more rougher than how he did before, it was like a sign of things to come. Then 2 months after I bought my copy of Bad Magic, Lemmy Kilmister passed away, which deep down I knew was coming, especially with one of his last performances where he still kept singing the lyrics to Ace of Spades while the rest of the two were playing Overkill. It was sad, and his death hit me pretty hard. I did a video that night of me showing my collection to pay tribute to him. It sucked. And that's why I will never buy that Clean Your Clock live video and album, and why I can't bring myself to even listen to much of Bad Magic. I just can't listen to him knowing how bad of shape he was recording it. So that's another reason why I tend to listen to Aftershock, which is how I want to best remember my time of buying a new Motörhead album on release day. And as well with The World Is Yours. That's it, folks. 10 years. For those of you who have memories of when getting this as a brand new release, whether they are either positive or negative, you can leave them all in the comment section below. But if you have never listened to this one, if I have to recommend one of the last 3 Motörhead albums, this is the one that I recommend. So with that, this is Heavy Thrasher saying I'm out, and I'll see you all later, and take care everyone.